Welcome back to Fix the Flow, a video series based on my ADDIE intensive talk, Fixing the Flow, Smarter L&D with AI using the TWINS framework. I'm Alicia Williams, a learning experience designer. In this video, we're going to unpack what I mean when I say ADDIE meets the TWINS framework. If you're new to learning and development or instructional design, this will help set the stage by introducing the language we use and showing how AI can support the process of building effective learning experiences. A lot of people outside our field assume we just make content, slides, games, pretty graphics. Hey, you know Photoshop? Put my face on that statue, or can you make a Jeopardy game that will build team morale? But the truth is, instructional designers don't just make things look fun. We build learning experiences that get results for the business. We need to prove that what we create is targeted, aligned with real outcomes, and delivers measurable value. And we do that using a process called ADDIE. Some of you already know this girl. ADDIE stands for Analysis, Design, Development, Implementation, and Evaluation. For those new to the process, here's a quick breakdown. Analysis is where we gather details about the learners, their needs, performance metrics, constraints, and what success should look like. Design is where we define learning objectives, create activities to support them, determine how we'll track outcomes, and blueprint what we're going to build. Development is when we bring it all to life, writing scripts, producing visuals, building interactions and assessments while also embedding accessibility features and tracking capabilities based on the earlier phases. Implementation is when we go live, whether in person, virtually, or deploy through a platform. Evaluation is where we measure whether the learning moved the needle. Did it take the learners from point A, from the beginning, to point B, as determined by the beginning? Did it create the impact we promised? That's how we connect learning to organizational value. Instructional design is a discipline that requires just as much proof as any new product, service, or device launched into the market. If we can't show impact, we can't justify the work. And that's why our job isn't just entertainment or content marketing, it's business strategy. But even with a solid framework like ADDIE, the work can be exhausting. You're expected to capture a mountain of information, spoken and written. Then you're writing so many proposals, scripts, and plans. You're building visuals and voiceovers, accessibility features, interactions, tests, and updates, all while managing a growing toolkit, shifting timelines, and constant input from stakeholders who still ask you if you'll throw in a Jeopardy game. The cycle can drag on forever. While people will always change their minds, we can control how fast we get things written, visualized, and aligned. And that's how we gain buy-in and build momentum. This is where generative AI becomes transformational to our processes. Not because it replaces us, but because it helps lighten the heavy lift at every stage of the cycle. That's why I developed the TWINS framework. TWINS stands for what AI can do. For example, transcribe helps you capture spoken content, notes, and intake conversations. Write helps you generate drafts, outlines, quizzes, proposals, even images. Imagine helps you produce visuals, mock-ups, or concept art, or even create apps to recreate or prototype what you want to demonstrate to your stakeholder audience. Narrate helps you to update information, provide accessibility and options. Sort helps you to organize and provide feedback, understand numeric or even written data that will help you make decisions on your analysis or your evaluation. When you're up against unclear input, missing assets or last-minute changes, being able to grab the right kind of tool at the right moment changes everything. Now think about your own processes and your own tools. Imagine being able to tighten the scope of your work and present a design prototype sooner. Imagine having a ready-to-go micro-learning series to demonstrate what it would look like, or activity ideas in case they didn't like the one you chose. You can create what used to take a film studio in just a concept explainer or a learning design with a narrative arc, such as done with video game design. Imagine putting together the quiz questions so that your stakeholders could look through and see which questions best align with the objectives that they want the most attention. Let's be clear, this doesn't replace your discipline as a designer or expert peer review from other humans and experts in your field. The brain still learns the same way. Learning science and adult learning theory still apply. Human-centered design still matters. You still need to think like an instructional designer and act with ethical responsibility when handling data, creating content, and serving your learners. What you bring, human judgment, empathy, and the ability to anticipate needs, is irreplaceable. This course is going to walk you through how to use AI responsibly, practically, and effectively so you don't just collect tools, you choose them with purpose that fit your workflow. Because at the end of the day, it's not about having all the tools, although I do love to test them. It's about solving with the right ones. So without any further ado, let's get to it. In our next episode, I'll introduce you to our first generative AI tool and how to start getting better results by choosing tools that actually fit your workflow and some great alternatives. Let's get ready to use twins and fix the flow.